Good evening, good evening. This is your boy, DJ Tan, right here on the Wheels of Steel, the ones and Tanitudes, right here on Chat and Chill with DJ Tan. Today or tonight, well, whenever you listen to it, I wanted to discuss how to become emotionally strong. Now, I've talked to a great deal of men and women, and quite a few people have asked me, how do I become a stronger person emotionally? So I had to talk about experiencing times where I felt I was so weak, and I had days where I was so strong. So sometimes a problem used to break me and make me feel helpless, while in other times I found myself motivated to solve a bigger problem instead of dealing with a smaller problem. So I was confused for a minute, and I really wanted to understand, why do we sometimes find ourselves emotionally strong, and why we sometimes find ourselves emotionally weak. So after I just did some soul searching and some reading of the Word, as a Christian life coach, you find that a lot of things that you read really takes place in your real life. You know, things that you read and things that you study is the absolute truth. So the more we are in control, and the more we initiate the actions, the more we feel powerful, while the more we blame the external factors, the more we become emotionally weak. So I had to ask, a couple of people, do you know what the difference between, and this is just my analogy, the difference between a slam dunk and a three-shot in basketball? So some of them was like, no, well, what's the difference? Okay, so in the case of a slam dunk, you have to be in control of the ball up until you score a goal. While in the case of a three-shot, you just throw the ball and hope it reaches its destination. So while in basketball, the three-shot is better than a dunk in real life, the dunk is the only method that would prevent you from feeling helpless, since the ball will be in your hand to the last minute. You see what I'm saying? So helplessness and motivation. It's like a helpless person is someone who faces a problem but never takes an action to solve it, while a self-motivated person is someone who might be having the same problem but who is working eagerly to solve it. So that would give you ask yourself another question: why do you lack motivation? But I'm going to get back to that. So in terms of being helpless, or feeling helplessness, the only difference between the two is that the first does nothing and just watches what's going on, while the second takes actions as soon as he or she faces the problem. So suppose that two people were told that they are so overweight. I know a lot of you watch My 600-Pound Life and shows like that, where you have these totally super morbidly obese individuals who are striving to become, healthier at a healthier weight. So I'm using that analogy because I just finished watching one where there was a set of twins, and they both were going to have the surgery, and one, was doing a little bit better than the other. But anyway, they both had to have this surgery. So let's say, they told you, you need to lose some weight. And let's say one of them started a diet that same day and started reading about being healthier and choosing healthier food choices and started exercising. And then, the next day, the person, you feel completely in control and experience emotional strength because, you took the bull by the horns right then and there. You didn't wait. You see? So if the other person did nothing and just blame the factors that made that person become obese, then that person will become helpless and depressed, in my opinion. Because what I'm saying here is you have to understand that unsolved problems can be the root cause of depression. See, the only way to prevent depression is to prevent the accumulation of such problems by solving them on the spot. You can't keep waiting to solve it. You have to start being proactive. So it's clear now that taking immediate actions makes us emotionally stronger. But the problem is that we are never allowed to take actions right away because we are stuck in rigid systems. What I mean by that, the corporate employee who suddenly faces a big problem has to keep himself busy until the weekend comes so that he finds time to think about the problem, and sadly, over the weekend prefers to have fun instead of trying to find a solution for the problem. So let's just say, the student who has exams has to remain helpless until the exams are over so that he can regain control over his life once again. It's as if our lifestyles are based on fixed routines, and it makes us helpless by not allowing us to fight back as soon as we encounter a problem. So if you want to become emotionally stronger, then you have to free yourself from the rigid system you are living in. As soon as you encounter a problem, take a few days to yourself. Take a few days to meditate and to pray and talk to Jesus. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't take that time to consciously talk to the Lord, to consciously pray and consciously ask for His control and His answers, you're fighting against yourself. If it's not possible to take time for yourself, then you have to decide that you're going to need to either meditate or sleep a little bit longer or pray it out or walk it out or work it out or do something that is going to give you a moment to be steadfast in your thoughts. Because in order to be steadfast on finding thoughts, you have to be quiet long enough to figure out a solution. Because see, when you run into the person who never takes the time out to think before they act, those are the people that are a danger to themselves. I know you guys have run into so many people in your lifetime who are self-destructive and who are dangerous to themselves without even knowing that they are dangerous to themselves. People who abruptly make decisions, and people who what I call are fighters. People who always want to argue about something, they're people who are always right. You have this group of people who I call the unconditional elite, because they always think that they're right. Their answer is the right answer. No one else's answer makes any sense. It's not that their answer is the right answer, it's that they just don't have that brain power for them to say, well, wait a minute, there is another solution to this. So I said all that to say to you that the faster you will react to a problem, the more you will feel in control, and the stronger your emotional strength will become after you sit and you meditate on that situation. You have to take a moment, deal with it, and come up with that solution. Don't just drag something out the tail and think that that's the correct answer and you want everybody else to agree with it. It just doesn't work that way. You will see that in time, your life and your way of thinking and your thought process and your happiness will be restored based on the truth and your emotional strength. Because if you don't take that time out to find yourself and to love yourself and to forgive yourself, if you don't take that time out to ask God for forgiveness and ask God to fix situations in your life instead of you taking it and fixing it yourself, you're never going to understand that your strength and your emotional strength is never going to be where you want it to be. So you will spend the rest of your life trying to find something that is never going to be there. We all go through some things. We all go through hurt, emotional issues, emotional weakness, feeling helpless, lacking motivation, feeling as though life just does not matter. But I tell you something, helplessness is the feeling someone gets when they find themselves unable to change something in their life that is important to them. Helplessness is one major cause of that depression, since depression in many cases can be nothing more than a feeling someone gets when he or she loses hope in getting something that he or she really wanted. So think about that. Think about the things that you can do to control your emotions and to make life easier for yourself, and how to stop feeling helpless and how to stop feeling hopeless. And let me tell you something, if you don't have someone in your life who is willing to sit down and talk to you and pray with you and let you know that there's somebody there in this world that is rooting for you and it's cheering you on, it's time for you to find someone who can walk you through it. Because this world is a very sad place when you're all alone. My name is DJ Tan, and this is Chat and Chill. I'll be praying for you, and I hope that you're praying for me. May God bless your day, and you have a wonderful evening. Peace.